This beautiful girl in front of us does not age, no matter how many years pass and how her peers reach different life stages. She isn't treated like a person, but rather like a chess piece. Whatever the mother wants is what happens, and the girl has no choice in anything that occurs in her life. However, the mother is finally shocked when she finds her daughter asking her, "Mom, how old am I? And how did my friends in the same class grow up while I'm still the same?" From that moment on, the girl's whole life turned into a living hell. Note: the events cover a full life. To know the exact story, and who this mother, who is counted among mothers incorrectly, is, let's start the events from the beginning. But before we begin, don't forget to support the Mr. A Stories channel by subscribing and turning on the notifications so you don't miss anything new. And let's go back to the beginning to see what happened. We go back to the very beginning and see Rosa in her prime. We learn that she is an influencer with millions of followers. Her mother, whose name is Dora, turned their home into a studio to film content specifically for children, where she presents reviews of all her new toys. Her mother is responsible for everything, from filming to managing the channel and the daughter's social media accounts. Afterward, she shares news that would make any content creator happy. Her new channel has been monetized, she signed a 2-year contract, and she received her first paycheck. She tells her she will buy her everything she wants, and they are very happy. To celebrate this happy news, Dora prepares a luxurious dinner with her own hands and tells her, "I am proud of you more than you can imagine." This moment is interrupted by the sound of the doorbell. It's their new neighbors coming to introduce themselves since they just moved in. As we can see, they are a family of 3, a husband, a wife, and their daughter, who is about the same age as Rosa. The little girl, whose name is Luana, goes crazy when she sees Rosa because she is very famous and follows all her videos. She takes photos with her and asks to see her world. Luana looks at her mother, and when she gets permission, she goes with her. The adults sit together, Rito and his wife, Vera. He reassures her that she will love living there and praises his wife's management of the neighborhood and the compound they live in. The strange thing is that Dora sits in front of them without making any effort to start a conversation. Vera starts grilling her. "Where are you from? Where is your husband? Is he happy with this sudden move?" When Dora remains silent, Vera assumes she is divorced and clutches her husband's hand, looking as if she fears for him. At that moment, Dora answers her and satisfies her curiosity by saying she lives here alone with her daughter. On the other side, we see the girls sitting quietly. Luana asks her, "It's strange that you don't talk much, unlike the videos we watch of you." Rosa immediately gives her a simple gift, breaking the silence barrier between them. The girl is happy, returns to her parents, and they say goodbye, letting them know they are there if they need anything. The next day, Dora prepares breakfast for her daughter, who enters, happy, carrying a toy box, a gift from one of the biggest brands. The expectation, of course, is that she will do a review of it. But her mother breaks her excitement and says, "Don't be too happy. Companies don't send you their best toys. They send the merchandise that no one buys so you can advertise it and people start buying it. Ask me about these things. I know them well." When she notices her daughter is upset and wants to live her age, she hints to her, "If you want to stop your content and break the contract, I will talk to them right now." But the daughter suddenly goes back to promoting the new toys as usual. Luana watches the video and her favorite content that she watches every day at the same time. She goes to her mother and says, "What is this, girl? It's late. When will you sleep? You have school in the morning." But she begs her to watch it with her and shows her Rosa and her channel and the number of followers. Her mother tells her, this is an exhausting job and a huge pressure on a small family at her age. Luana replies that this doesn't matter, and the result is that she is very rich and famous, and she hopes one day to be like her, have all those followers, and have people love her. Afterward, Vera leaves her daughter's room, sits with her husband, and tells him that Rosa has a huge fortune and earns a lot of money from her social media channel. He asks, "And how did you know?" She said, "It's obvious. Her mother is just a simple teacher, and suddenly they moved to this neighborhood, and you know well that any apartment in this compound isn't cheap." He said, "Okay, so what? What is it to us?" She insisted that he must know his neighbors and keep an eye on any new person who comes, but he doesn't like her mentality and advises her to focus on running the house instead of gossiping about the neighbors. The next day, we see Rosa on her first day of school. She walks down the hallway as if she's walking on a runway, with people filming her on both sides, some asking for selfies and others calling her name because of her huge social media fame. Suddenly, she is surprised to find Luana there at the same school, which makes sense since they live in the same neighborhood. Even so, she is very happy because she never had friends. Maya, the mother, is also hired there and becomes their teacher. While introducing herself, Luana sends a message to Rosa, inviting her to their house today. But the strange thing is that all her accounts are open at the same time on her mother's phone. She reads the message and looks at her. At that moment, Rosa apologizes, saying she can't go because she has to record a new video today. At night, her mother points out that her birthday is approaching and, as usual, she likes to prepare everything early. She hits a sensitive nerve for her daughter, saying, "Go ahead and invite all your friends now." Rosa reminds her that she has no friends and complains that she is lonely because of her fame, not to mention she just moved to this new area. Her mother reassures her that soon she will know how to integrate and have a large group of friends. They choose the birthday cake together. In the morning, Rosa picks a dress from her closet suitable for her age to wear to her birthday party. Her mother finds it and rejects it, choosing instead a childish dress that looks more like a princess costume. She insists on it, and in a way that bothers the girl, she realizes she isn't allowed to choose even the dress she will wear. On the day of the birthday, the mother throws a big party. Before Rosa can celebrate and enjoy the atmosphere, her mother announces it to her followers, grabs her phone, and asks her to film a video for them. She objects, saying she doesn't want to be filmed right now. The mother says, "Okay, honey, as long as you don't want to, it's up to you. Go enjoy your party." Before the girl gets happy, the mother uses emotional blackmail, saying, "Oh, it's a shame. Your followers have been waiting on pins and needles to see you in the dress on your birthday, and they will definitely be sad. But go on, have fun." Rosa feels guilty, changes her mind, and does what she wants. The mother doesn't waste time and keeps filming her all day long. Dora goes to greet the guests, who are residents of the compound and her school classmates whom she invited. She stands with her husband, and as usual, starts gossiping, saying, "Is this a party or a cinematic film production? What is this?" She definitely spent a lot of money. For the first time, her husband supports her and tells her, "Believe it or not, you're right." She exaggerated a bit for a small family's birthday party, but we don't care. The most important thing is that she is happy. We see Rosa, and she still can't enjoy herself. Luana is holding her phone, live streaming, and telling everyone she is friends with the most famous girl and that she is at her birthday party. Despite that, she is happy for the first time to have friends. During the party, Dora notices her husband standing alone and offers to bring him a drink. Her skill looks excellent as she prepares juice with professional flair, high-end cafe style, and the husband stands there impressed. During that time, his wife, Vera, is searching every corner of the apartment, feeling that this woman is hiding something. She isn't convinced she is faithful to her husband and keeps checking the trash in the kitchen. Suddenly, she finds her standing right behind her in the kitchen and asks, "What's the matter, honey? The bathroom isn't this way at all, by the way." Vera tells her she came because she admires her taste and is looking around her apartment. She immediately asks for her opinion, saying, "I was thinking of opening a channel for my daughter, Luana, and investing in it to cover some expenses." This conversation turns into, "I'm asking you because you're like a manager for your daughter, and we could benefit from you." Dora says, "Yes, actually I am the one managing the ads that come to her." Vera hints that she doesn't just care about that, but the money also goes to her pockets. Dora looks at her as if to say, "What's your problem? Why are you poking your nose into our business?" She gives a fake smile and advises her to enjoy the party and stop talking about work. They take her outside. Rosa blows out the candles on her 13th birthday cake. At the end of the day, she prepares a cup of warm milk for her, and the surprise is that she puts a few drops of a certain medicine in it. She sits beside her until she drinks it and waits for her to fall asleep, and we find her injecting something into her daughter's arm without her feeling it. The next day, while Rosa is playing with her classmates in gym class, jumping left and right, she feels exhausted beyond normal. As soon as a classmate accidentally hits the ball at her, she suddenly falls to the ground and loses consciousness. Everyone is panicked, asking what happened. She wakes up and finds herself in the hospital after the school doctor moved her there. Her mother arrives, worried, and the doctor reassures her that her blood pressure just dropped and she fainted because of that. They even ran tests to make sure she was okay. She thanks her profusely, takes her daughter, and says, "Thank God you're safe. You really scared me." That same night, the mother repeats the same ritual: a cup of milk and 2 drops of medicine. What is this double standard? We don't know. The point is, she is looking at photos from her birthday, and she discovers that there was a friend named Zoe who was also born on the same day and in the same year. Rosa asks about her and where she is now, but she tells her, nobody knows. Many years have passed, so go to sleep. She tucks her in and leaves the house, going to dance at a nightclub. She gets close to a guy there. He turns out to be Rito, the neighbor. When she returns from her night out, she wakes her daughter up in the middle of the night. "Wake up, it's raining." Rosa says, "What's wrong, Mom?" She says, "What's wrong? You're lazy. Go, film a video in the rain for your followers. I want to make money." Her daughter gets up under duress, and she makes her stand in the middle of the rain and films her. Her daughter is exhausted and barely able to stand, on the verge of crying, and just wants to sleep a few hours because she has to wake up early for school, but she can't disobey her. The video, as usual, goes viral, and everyone follows it. Rosa goes to school without having slept, as she was filming until morning. At school, the teachers see Dora's video and praise her daughter. One of them wonders, "When did you film this video?" "Because the rain started late, toward the morning." She lies and says, "These are all filters and effects, and it was a normal video, not in the rain." On the other side, the doctor hands over the results of Rosa's tests to Rosa herself because she has an important errand and can't reach her mother right now. She gives her the username and password to log into the system. Rosa logs in and is surprised that she has a severe hormonal imbalance, not to mention malnutrition. She is shocked and doesn't understand exactly what she has, but she decides to hide it from her mother. After that, she returns home and her mother continues filming her. After she finally finishes, the mother says, "Where are you going? You still have to make a video. 30 people commented on the last video, share it with them." Rosa points out that she has school assignments she must finish to turn in tomorrow. She says, "No school and empty talk. They won't benefit you with anything. Your YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram are what will benefit you." Despite that, we discover a human touch. The next day at school, Luana talks about how her birthday is coming up and a famous singer found out she was born on the same day as her, but the years are different. Rosa tells her, I also discovered someone who was born on the same day, month, and year as me. Imagine. She asked her, where is she now? She said, I don't know. We were little the last time we met. And I don't know anything about her. She asked her for her name so she could search for her. Maybe they could find her. In the same year, her mother appears in front of her and isn't happy about her talking. Plus she is naturally monitoring her phone. She asks her, why are you looking for Zoe? She tells her that her birthday was on the same day as hers and she wanted to wish her a happy birthday. Then her mother tells her that she didn't want to upset her and called Zoe to surprise her on her birthday, to invite her and celebrate together, but she found that she had forgotten her, didn't remember her, and didn't even care to come. At that moment, Rosa gets very sad and is affected, and she drops the idea of communicating with her. The next day, we see Vera following Dora's lead and filming her daughter to live off her back, since it's the popular investment right now. As soon as she glimpses her from afar in the compound, she follows her to the gym and starts asking her 1,000 questions about the topic. She tells her directly that she intends to make the same content for her daughter. When she asks if it earns a lot, she replies that whoever presents it must be talented and have charisma to succeed in this field. It's not by force, honey, and it's not suitable for everyone. Not just anyone who comes along becomes an influencer, she says. Vera replies to her, strange, considering you're in the compound, it's expensive, and you need a lot of money, and it's also not suitable for all people. Do you get it? She immediately reads that she is looking down on her and confirms that she doesn't live off her daughter's money but saves it to secure her future. She leaves her and walks away. Rosa succeeds more and more, reaching 15 million followers. Everyone congratulates Dora. She asks her if she has seen the test results. Dora gets very nervous when she knows her daughter received them. She calls her while she is sitting with her friends and scolds her for hiding that she received the test results. Rosa replies that she forgot. When she senses her face has changed and she is angry, she says, tell me, what was written on it? She tells her she already knew she had anemia since she was little and didn't want to worry her. She promises her that everything will get better, she will take medicine, and she will be fine. Like every night, she prepares a cup of warm milk and the medicine, and gives her the injection while she is asleep without her feeling it. She goes to dress up, put on makeup, and leaves her alone at home, as usual, late at night. She goes on a date, alone, and knows who she's meeting. But suddenly, she changes her mind when she sees Rito, the neighbor, is in the same place. She goes to him and says, what a sweet coincidence. She sits with him, talking away. Are you out late, waiting for your family to sleep so you can return to them late and no one says anything to you? Or are you waiting for the traffic to calm down? She says, in your 2 years, have you ever thought about disappearing all at once and leaving everything behind? He is surprised by her question and says, of course. She hints that he and his wife seem to understand each other, so it's strange he says that. He clarifies that he is talking in general and originally meant work. She says, of course, I'm sure you mean work. Yes, what do you want, woman? He explains that he isn't happy in his life, and she has no idea how much effort he makes to appear otherwise. At that moment, she asks him the same question. Do you have the courage to abandon everything with such ease? He answers her that he doesn't know, but he needs to feel a new adventure in his life. She admits that she has the same feeling. He is surprised because she looks like a woman who is confident and has a strong personality. She tells him his own sentence. You have no idea how much effort I make to appear that way. They both laugh. She complains to him that she is lonely and leaving her daughter alone, and that was difficult for her. He holds her hand and consoles her. At that time, Rosa wakes up in the middle of the night and feels pain in her arm. Suddenly, she notices as if there is a lump inside. She immediately grabs any tool she has to take it out herself and is surprised by something like a piece of plastic or a chip coming out of her arm. What is this? And what is it doing? She doesn't know, but her blood fills the whole place. As soon as she hears his footsteps, she cleans up quickly, returns to her bed, and pretends to be asleep. On the other side, Rito returns home late and finds his wife waiting for him. He lies to her that he was avoiding traffic, but it seems time got away from him. She tells him, "You didn't even call me. You forgot that today is our wedding anniversary." He says, "It happened. I'm exhausted and I don't sleep. Leave me alone for now." He leaves her on their anniversary. Their daughter hears their argument and sees the misery. The next day, Rosa meets her and notices she is upset. She tells her that her father and mother are always arguing. She consoles her that at least she sees her father. Unlike her, she has never seen him. She asks her to lend her her mobile phone because hers is broken. And of course, this is a lie so her mother doesn't know what she's doing. The other agrees to give her an old mobile phone she has in exchange for her sharing some secrets and stories. She hides the phone quickly as soon as she finds her mother coming in. The other informs her that she is going to Veras to attend a boring meeting for the compound's residents, and of course, she is using it as an excuse to see Rito there. She meets him in secret. As soon as she leaves, Rosa takes out her phone and contacts Zoe. She reminds her of herself, and the other replies with all enthusiasm. She remembers her, contrary to what her mother led her to believe. She suggests they meet, as it's the only way to be sure of what she knows. At the first light of day, Rosa refuses to wake up and go to school, claiming she is sick. She says, "I feel like I'm going to report that I'm also at school and will sit with you and not leave you alone." But she refuses and asks her to go to her work because she wants to sleep, spend the whole day sleeping, and not move from her place. She tells her she is no longer a child. In the end, she agrees and waits for her to leave, and she goes out to meet Zoe. The surprise is when she finds her several years older than her, and she is supposed to be born on the same day, month, and year. Despite that, they talk to each other, and Rosa thinks it's normal that she looks older than her age, until Zoe informs her that she is preparing to enter college. Here, Rosa receives the shock of her life. How is her friend going to college while she is still in school? Then she connects everything together. She realizes that her mother was giving her medicine and implanted a chip inside her that makes her growth stop so she stays a child forever and doesn't age. She leaves her friend, running and crying, devastated. How could her mother, the closest and only person she trusts, destroy her life and hurt her in this horrific way? And all this just to exploit her and earn money from her. That's why every period she moved from one place to another, so no one would know the secret. She keeps running toward the school to confront her, not feeling the world around her, until she suddenly wakes up in front of the school. When she arrives, she notices she is bleeding. She has gone through the first stage of what girls reach when they grow up. Before they realize she isn't just a small family, she takes off her jacket and covers herself with it. Afterward, they return home. Her daughter fights with her and reveals that she met Zoe and she told her she is preparing to enter college. She says, "Explain to me how this happened. You destroyed my life. What did you do to me? Talk." She asks her a question she is afraid to hear the answer to. How old am I now? She tries to calm her down by saying she sacrificed for her and did all this for her own good. Suddenly, she hears the sound of a strange phone ringing and finds she has another mobile. When Rosa threatens her that she will expose her and tell everyone, and her mother says she will lock her in the room, no matter how much she cries, screams, and begs, she leaves her hitting her head against the wall. Rosa destroys everything in the room and the illusory life she was trapped and living in, that she is a little girl. As for the mother, she takes the mobile and sends a message to Zoe, asking to meet her as if she were Rosa. She actually meets her, and without much talk or pleasantries, she orders her to stay away from her daughter. She says, "No, and why would I listen to you in the first place?" She informs her that she has no other solution and shows her a picture of her, threatening to tell her family what she's actually doing. The other goes silent, leaves, and walks away. She returns to her daughter and clarifies that she brought her food but not to eat it now until, with all calmness, she gets up, cleans up her world, and records a video. She executes her orders because she hasn't eaten since last night. She gets up to change her clothes and returns to film children's content, but it doesn't grab her attention. The mother continues to adjust her performance to the point that she threatens her. If the video doesn't come out at the same level as before, forget about eating at all. She records again, saying the place is different because she is at her father's house. She applies every word she memorized for her. When she is satisfied, she gives her her lunch. The next day, Dora goes to the school principal and asks permission for her daughter's absence, because Rosa will live with her father for a week. When he refuses because a week is too long, she says, "Come on, for my sake, because the house will be empty and I will stay alone." This trick works, and he agrees. On the same day, Luana comes and asks her about her daughter because she hasn't heard from her for 2 days. She tells her she is on vacation and traveled to be with her father. She returns her phone to her and thanks her, saying she no longer needs it. As soon as she holds it in her hands, she finds all the messages between her and Zoe deleted. Suddenly, Zoe sends a voice note, and she means Rosa, but Luana replies to her, introduces herself, and says Rosa is traveling. The other points out that, it seems Rosa has fallen into a problem, and her appearance doesn't look reassuring, and I'm sure there's something behind it. Indeed, she looks at the last video she posted, saying she is at her father's house, and feels something is wrong because she confirmed to her before that she has never seen him. She sends her a message, and she finds she replied, but the one who turns out to have replied is her mother. The next day, Dora enters to her daughter with breakfast. She hides and falls to the ground to escape, but she prevents her and catches her at the last moment and locks her up again. On the other side, Luana returns to contact Zoe and says, "It seems you're right. I saw the last video she posted, and it was different. It's as if she was nervous, not to mention she told me she never saw her father. Is it possible she was lying to me?" She says, No, this is the truth. Rosa lives her life." Afterward, her mother Vera comes in and asks her, "What's wrong? Why are you sad?" She confesses to her that Rosa is missing, and she is worried, especially since she fainted twice at school, and since then, she hasn't appeared at all. She hides any other details from her, but her mother hears her conversation with Zoe as they talk about them suspecting she is trapped at home. At the same time, Luana sees her father coming out of Dora's house. She is very surprised and realizes he is cheating on her mother, and this gives her an additional reason to look behind her back more. In Rosa's house, we see her mother coming, sitting at the door of her room, looking as if she is regretful. Her daughter asks her, "How could you have the heart to do this to me? Giving me medicine and injections? You didn't even fear that something would happen to me." Her answer to her is that she used it correctly and she was taking medicine so she wouldn't feel anything, because no matter what, she wouldn't be able to hurt her, meaning she isn't a mother who is that repulsive. Her daughter keeps crying and asks her, "Who is my father?" She is honest with her and says, "To tell the truth, I don't know, and I wasn't interested in knowing the truth." As a final offer, she gives her a box with photos of her when she was little, and she is celebrating every year of her life, aside from the fact that there were a few years where they celebrated twice so it wouldn't attract attention. At that moment, Rosa gets angry, slams the door with all her might, and asks about her real age, but she still refuses to answer her. The next day, she confronts her about what she heard, and she intends to enter Dora's apartment behind her back. There, she hears Rosa's cry for help, and before she gets near her room, the alarm rings and she exits quickly from there. As for Dora, she comes running, and the other informs her that there was almost a malfunction and the alarm rang. She notices her as if she is nervous and hiding something. Afterward, Dora returns to her daughter, tries to make amends, and asks her to make amends and record her content so she can return to her life again and meet her friends and go to school. She agrees, and she goes to change the room's appearance on the basis that she is at her father's house. But 2 weeks later, Zoe follows all her videos, puts them together, and notices something very strange. Rosa intends to follow a cry for help, and every letter of the word SOS appears in one video. She confirms she was right from the beginning and shows these pictures to Luana, and informs her that she is pleading with her followers to save her from her mother. The other is shocked and asks her, "Okay, what will we do now? Call the police?" She said, No, I have a much better idea." She decides to create a hashtag under the title, SALVE ROSA, and they actually do that and publish it on all social media platforms. They hear it, and it hits hard with everyone, spreading more than they could imagine. Everyone sees it. Followers, teachers, neighbors, and people themselves participate with them and publish Rosa's photos everywhere. The hashtag reaches more than 13 million. Finally, her mother notices, sees it, and goes to grab her by her hair and says, "Record a video immediately and say the words I memorized for you." She drags her by force so she can get up, dress, and record. At that time, she sits in front of the camera and tells them she is fine, and perhaps they misunderstood her, and no one is hurting her. Her mother is the person who loves her most and fears for her, and she certainly doesn't ask for help to be saved from her. Unfortunately, Luana believes this video and cuts off her relationship with Rosa because she believed this nonsense and followed it. No matter how much Zoe tries to convince her that the video isn't real and her mother forced her to record it, she doesn't believe her. This makes her resort to the final step. Zoe goes to the police station, reports it, and tells them that she is her friend and they almost grew up together and were born on the same day and year, meaning it's impossible for her to be 13 years old, and all her life she was living her days alone until Rosa suddenly moved away. Meaning, there is no presence for her father whom she is supposedly staying with now. She explains to them that she was following her videos and found her acting strange and living a year younger than her. She tells them, "I am sure her mother did something to her that makes her not grow up, and it seems she knew the truth because after she met me, she disappeared." They enlist all the witnesses. At that time, Dora receives news that the police are about to arrive. She immediately collects all her things, leaves her daughter, and escapes from the house with Rito, who leaves a message for his wife, informing her he isn't coming back. But she abandons him, boards a bus, and travels. She is forced to exit from all her daughter's accounts and deletes her from hers. In the meantime, Vera goes and opens the apartment after all the residents and the police gather there. They actually find Rosa was locked up and unconscious from lack of food. They take her with them and move her to the ambulance, but unfortunately, she doesn't reach the hospital and loses her life. She dies. After a few months, in another place, we see her mother and she intends to get pregnant again and prepares to repeat the same tragedy and exploit her daughter to come into the world so she can earn money behind her, and he becomes her source of income. The film ends, and we know it's a true story. Unfortunately, many children have parents who exploit them for fame and money. We say to them, take care of your families. Don't forget to support the Mr. A Stories channel by subscribing and turning on the notifications so you don't miss anything new.